Well, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I convinced Ryan he had to stick around.
It's okay.
We could talk for another 6 hours, I think, because when you find somebody who has the knowledge, I'm one of those people who craves information, and people who know that about me, like, tell them to stop because, like, I don't have my brain's gonna explode. I'm like, well, I don't know what happened with me, but that's what I like. So hopefully we can share some more of that insight. Here's a gentleman that literally, like, you need to listen to people like this. I'll bring that up to lead into something we talked about, a little prep in between. Where does most of the work you work, but you kind of specialize working with insurance agents, is that right?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely help out a lot of insurance agents. They'll call me with clients that are, moving into a new home and they may have had the home inspection done and it says that there's a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm kind of known to give an honest opinion on stuff. So, I'll go kind of evaluate. A lot of this I do for free because, if I can help you out, one hand shakes the other. Right. So I do play the long game with a lot of stuff. I do a lot of things for free, free inspections. I'll do a lot of free tarps and stuff like that. Now, if I'm tarping it, usually it's like, hey, we need to call in a claim and then I'll get the insurance company to pay for it, where I don't need you to come out of pocket. You will have other, maybe companies that will try to charge you to do the tarp, get you to sign something so that you before you're even knowledgeable about that company or anything, you feel like you're locked in. But don't ever feel like you're locked in with any company, and because you're not. I mean, it's your money, you're holding it. You can pick whoever you want at any time. Don't worry about signing anything. I never have any clients sign any kind of anything with them until it's the time to sign for doing the work. I don't want anybody to feel like they're, have to do anything.
Pressured into making
Yeah,
a decision.
I wanted them to be an educated customer, that I provided them the education with the things that they didn't know, so that they feel comfortable using me. I don't need to do anything else. As far as the insurance agents, yeah, I do a lot of work with insurance company agents and just helping out their clients as much as I can. So even as the insurance company, they know that they could put coverage on this house because maybe what the seller's review said was dishonest, to try to bring the house price down or something like that.
It's a jungle out there, everybody. There's a lot you have to consider when you're getting into anything in life where there's money involved, it seems, right?
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about reviews prior. I'm going to show you some of the great reviews Ryan has here because these are all real. You talk about there are some people that will, and there's programs out there. It's not to say that those reviews aren't real, but some people actively pursue these. And I can tell you about the systems that are out there. I know how they work. One of my business partners designed one to where it literally said, here's your review. You get to review the review. and it's not anything unscrupulous other than to say, if there was a problem, they got to say, hey, wait a minute, there's a problem. You gave us a bad review. Can we address that? Some people would say, and I know some people who've done other things where they said, oh, you didn't enjoy your visit or whatever, then let's just move on. And so, but essentially pushing them to say, don't give us a review. But you want those honest to real reviews, and that's what you've got here. And I think it's Ray Black, very professional, trustworthy. The way they handle everything puts your mind at ease. Absolutely no complaints at all. They take care of you as though you are family. What's that make you feel like to have somebody that's like, there it is, everybody read it yourself. All of them are saying stuff like that. You don't have tons of reviews because you're not even actively pursuing these. I like your strategy. I want to have I'm an honest guy, and if people want to write the review, that's on them. But I'm out there actively pursuing getting reviews to make myself look good.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily with my company, you're going to be dealing with me because I'm not trying to be huge. I mean, maybe at some point I might be forced to be quite a bit bigger, but I like meeting with people and just there's a reason why we've been sitting here for almost 3 hours. But we were just talking about your possibly what happens if you don't get a 5-star review. Those are honestly the reviews I look at. So those are the honest reviews. That's when you know a company isn't going in and just paying for reviews. If they did have some lower reviews. And you can judge off of those, and that's what I do is, if you do have a 3-star review, like, okay, that's somebody honestly trying to give a review. Now there are going to be people, if you have a bunch of 5-star reviews and they leave you a lower review, hoping that you're going to try to give them a better deal or pay to make that review go away. Unfortunately, that can happen. So how honest are reviews when that's the case?
Well, there we go. We have people trying to get a hold of me, and we've gone over a little bit of our time, which is fine with me because I appreciate spending time to get to know somebody. I'm going to put up a quick blurb here. We talked about it on the first show. This is one of our biggest sponsors, and but if you're looking at what's going on here, there we go. We have to thank you for calling, everybody. But if you want to learn about gold, go to Gold Cowboy. It's a domain we've put up recently. It redirects to this interview. This is an interview with the CEO of the company who took the time to be on my show and talk about what they're doing to help service people who just really can't afford to buy $30 million worth of gold. They've developed systems like anything in the world. The internet ultimately might take over, and they'll find a way to systematize it. That's kind of what they've done here. So if you'd like more information about that, check out this interview. It's on goldcowboy.com, and there's our sponsor, My Metal Pro, and that's the CEO of the company. My buddy is the top distributor for 7K Metals, and they talk a little bit about why this is an effective way to plan for your future and be involved. But Ryan, do you know a little bit about gold? Is that something you've dabbled in? Do you have any study there? What are your...
Unfortunately, no. I guess I wish I had more gold. Apparently, it's pretty valuable stuff.
That gold stuff. Look at it over history. So I want to give that quick blurb there because they are our sponsor of our show. But it points to another thing. People need something that is that is integral, honest, and proven, and that's where businesses depend on the fact that they earn the reputation that they have by doing good work. And they don't necessarily have to pound their chest and go, hey, I'm the greatest. If they're doing too much of that, it makes you be a little suspect about what they're doing.
Yeah, they might have great marketing. I see a lot of that.
We see a lot of that. Good old boys, we say buddies from the river we hang out, where we first hung out how long ago was that? That was 2 boats ago, I think. But
yeah, same.
That's how long it was. Well, thank you for that and good information. Give me a quick cost analysis. I guess in this space that you're in, there's not a whole lot of people who literally do it yourself. How many do-it-yourselfers are there that will fix their own roof? But what are some of the mistakes that people make because they cut corners somehow? Or what is the biggest mistake somebody makes when they've got a roof issue or a construction issue? If you work on decks, you work on just about anything outside the house, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, again, a lot of things are marketing. You can see where people have gotten sold in the past. They're not getting sold a bad product. It is a good product, but maybe their house wasn't built for that product. So, right. Yes, you're getting a good product. Is it possibly not performing the way it should, or almost even in a negative manner? Is very possible. I see it a lot with ridge vents. Ridge vents is a great product. It works great when the house is designed for it. You have to have enough ventilation in your soffits to work. You can short circuit that system. You got your gable vents. Most people don't realize that you're supposed to actually block off the gable vents at that point when you install that ridge vent.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I'm trying to find, ridge vent is that vent at the top of the roof that goes all down the middle seam.
Yeah.
And lets air come up and out of that house.
Yeah,
right,
it works great. Convection, so,
versus just gables, then.
Well, you have your gables, you have your box fence on the back. A lot of people get away from the box fence. A lot of these newer homes with the real steep pitch roofs where you have, small, nice backyard that you spend a lot of time in. You don't want to see the unsightly, they call them turtle shells or box vents. So the ridge vent definitely looks better. A lot of those houses, though, don't have a whole lot of ridge. So putting that product on, you might not get enough ventilation. Heat is another big problem with roofs. So sun and heat is going to be a problem. As far as, that, you just kind of have to see how the house is built. Most new houses, you're fine installing that. Older houses where you may have had somebody at some point put siding on with vented soffits, where it's just a visual, it looks better. They put the vents every other one, and then if you ever remove that, you would realize that there's no ventilation actually to your attic. So you install this system where it's supposed to breathe through your soffit, and it doesn't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It'll actually pull air conditioner air from your house into the attic. So now you're paying to cool your attic.
That's not as a good strategy if you want to save money on
Well,
it.
no, that's a great product. I don't have a problem with the product at all.
So I brought something up here on your Facebook page. Lots of great information out there. Check out Ryan's Facebook page, Blue Ox Contractors, contractors.com, and then you can find them on Facebook. Are you hiring still? Is that the post was out there not too long ago?
If the right person comes around,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm sorry. There we go.
I'm pretty busy, so I haven't had time to interview too many people. So.
But the reason I brought up this picture, if people will look there, that is a ridge vent on top of this one. Is that true?
That is correct, yes.
All right, so I'll show that to everybody. Look at the top of this roof. It's off to the top of the screen. I try to zoom it in a little bit, but the image works that way. And so they can see, but that is a little vent. It's a little thing that goes, and that's a vent letting air out of there, right?
Yep.
And that's what you're talking about. So
Yep, so convection pulls it through. If you don't have a system like that, then you'll have, you know, the whirlybirds, you know, the spin.
yeah.
People always complain about them squeaking and stuff. They fixed that, and honestly, that's the best ventilation you can have for your roof is those turbines.
And help people understand again, why is it so important to have ventilation? Why anything gets too hot, you have problems, bottom line, or maybe too cold, I guess.
Just the temperature difference. I mean, you're gonna have extra heating bills and stuff like that if, you know, because your attic is exposed outside, even though it's covered. It's in the shade, but it's going to build up a lot of heat. So heat, what it can do is it can actually boil or blister the shingles, so that it can cause the shingles to age and deteriorate. So you might never have a hailstorm or wind-related event that does any kind of damage, and then you're getting blasted by sun and heat all day, and that's what's killing your roof. It's just, it makes the shingles brittle.
Right.
Puts cracking in them, and it'll literally boil the impurities in the tar, and they turn into little blisters and pop. Yeah.
He's a scientist too, I think, at part-time.
Yeah.
Knowledgeable beyond reproach, is that the right word? But knows what he's talking about, so that's why we had Ryan come here to talk to us today. All right, well, literally focus on residential, any commercial stuff you do, and you can help.
I'll do anything that comes my way. Mostly residential is what I do. A lot of the commercial that I do is based off of, I did the house for the person that, I have to own a company and have, you know, 1 million square foot building or something like that. So that's usually where my commercial comes in.
Gotcha. Yeah, and somebody with the expertise, I'm literally listening to you talk. I'm like, I bet you could fix anything. Analyze it, pick apart the parts, the convection, the ratio, the perspective, the rivets. I mean, everything that's diametrically constructing, you can figure it out.
Yeah, luckily with the manufacturers, they're really good at educating you too. So even if it is a system that I haven't dealt with, I can always reach out to the manufacturers or my suppliers and get an education on it from that manufacturer. So you're going to manufacturer specification on everything, and you know, having the crews that can do the work is also important. So it just happens.
Well, I'm just impressed by the overall how you're kind of attacking the way to make this successful, right? And that's what I think the essence. We a consultant friend of mine came in. He used to be a reporter on ABC for many years. A good friend of mine. You will know people related to him if you just watch TV. But he's a great friend of mine. He said, come up with a message for each show if you think. I thought about that prior actually, but here's what's our theme for the show, and this one might be learn. The more information you got, we talked about it in the first show too. Ryan kind of helps emphasize that, because if you understand what's going on, then you can't be victim to something but somebody taking advantage of you because you don't know what the answer is. And they come in, and I can just think about other people I've talked to and my experience on this planet where they literally you could tell they were angling for, hoping I didn't figure out what they were talking about. And I'm one of those who does very much scrutinize. I've been taken advantage of a couple times in my life too. We all have dealt with those situations. But as you start to hold people's feet to the fire, if you will, then they can't answer certain questions. But Ryan is even here to say, if I don't know the answer, I know where to get the answer and go to the people. I haven't had anybody else tell me that before, to say, I will talk to the vendor and find out. I guess all of them will do that, but you're the first one that mentioned it. And I realize those vendors want you to understand how this works. So,
Oh, yeah.
So that you can help sell their product for them, because they've got a superior product from what their evidence would prove. And it helps everybody. And if you just, everybody, that's what we love about America, right? Competition makes the world go round.
Oh, definitely.
And if you don't have the best product out there, then figure it out and make your product better, right? Or else you're not going to be around. And so in America, that's kind of the way it works generally. We've got this whole situation in the world where people have been working with people inside the government to do whatever. Maybe some of that's getting straightened out. Maybe it's not as bad as they say. I don't know. But bottom line is, do what's right, help people, and things will go your way.
Yeah, and the whole education thing is huge for me. So I always tell my customers, like, you aren't an expert in this now, but by the end of this, you will be an expert, whether you want to know it or not. And it's kind of funny because I have so many customers that'll call me and be like, Ryan, I'm driving down the street. You need to stop at this neighbor's house because they need your help. And I'm like, yeah, you never looked at roofs before, we spoke. And now they're me driving down in a subdivision looking at people's roofs, which that might be something you don't want to honestly do. But it happens, unfortunately. The biggest thing with insurance.
Put on the hat for that one. That's a good point.
What's that?
When you get into the neighborhood, you're talking about families. I know most everybody in the neighborhood here that I live by, and they know who the Cardinal Cowboy is, and they support me. It's been really cool. But we all have our own little community, and so essentially, I think what you were saying there was somebody said, "Look, my buddy Ryan is in the area where you're at. We can trust him. I'm going to have him stop by while he's over there."
Oh, I mean, that is my advertisement, is you, honestly, because, those are your best, and they always set you up. I can't say I really have had any bad clients, because it's always a referral. It's always, you're going in, you're not, with any kind of set expectations or anything like that. You're just being honest, giving them honest information, and people are happy with that. And that's my whole business model, is just be honest and help people out as much as I can and educate them so that they keep coming back.
Yeah, no, I think if everybody would just, I'm in the marketing space quite a bit. I looked down at my book. I forgot to bring this up, but if you'd like to learn more about how to magnetize your media, I wrote the foreword for this book that is now a #1 bestseller in its category out on Amazon. And for those who want to figure that out and learn about it, check it out. I'll hold it off to so I might cover my own face, right? Kids hold the trophy sometimes and they put the trophy in front of their face. I'm like, hey, no, you don't want to do that. But don't do that on camera here. Magnetized Media, forward written by the Cardinal Cowboy. And I just love being able to share and help businesses, because like, you can help anybody construct and build a house. And you do understand the marketing world pretty well too, I can tell as well. But it's just a matter of function of the way the whole world communicates and works. And marketing should be a method. I think you mentioned it to me, so I'll say it. You're hitting on something here, Cowboy. You said, because people just want an honest, straightforward conversation with somebody. We're tired of the hocus pocus AI, fake this, something looked real over here but it wasn't, or some quick misrepresentation or something that got our attention but it wasn't even what I was interested in or wanted to know about. And we just need to sit down and have a conversation with people and learn about what they do and understand what they're about. And the more educated people are, the better they're going to present themselves. And that's what I think you've done a good job of, obviously.
Yeah, I think earlier you were asking me kind of like the biggest thing that you see people doing wrong and stuff like that. What I would say is, especially in the insurance, storm related, when a storm hits your house, it doesn't hit every side of it. So you'll see so many people like, oh, I got their roof, gutters, and siding all paid for. And then I talk to the neighbor or something like that, and they're like, well, my neighbor got their siding repaired, their whole house or whatever. No, that's not the case. There are policies that are set up where if it discontinued and the color can't in the perfect world, and you spend 6 months trying to fight it, and you can get the insurance company to pay for your whole house. There might be people that know how to manipulate the system where it happens a lot quicker, but that's not usually the case. What they're mostly paying for is maybe one side of your house for siding, and then a few pieces on the other side using the old siding that was on the back of the house to fix that so that it matches, so we're not worrying about the match thing. There's companies out there that I can send product off to to give me the analysis of what that product is if it's not posted all over it. And that's something I would like to educate people on as much as I can. I might actually start like a binder for that, because it would help out everybody in this industry, would be what products you actually do have on your house, because it doesn't seem like anybody ever even knows.
I got a roof.
Yeah, they got a roof. The siding's blue. You don't know the name of it, the brand of it, the style of it. Nothing. So if it's not physically posted on that product, I have to send it off to a service, or maybe just the knowledge I have from dealing with a lot of people in maybe one subdivision where I knew a builder used all this brand or something like that. So that's just some of the knowledge I bring. But having a binder where like, oh, okay, now that I've replaced your siding, I always try to give people at least, the information saying like, this is the siding you have. So in the future, you can call up wherever and get some more of it if you want to change something.
Or if they had some damage, and I've had that happen. I had to replace a piece of siding, and I figured out how to pull it out and do it myself a little bit. But I had to figure out who the manufacturer was, because if they don't match, they don't latch in correctly together. And these are all little things that most people.
Yeah, I run into people all the time, and they always have that one sack of shingles that, like, oh, yeah, if you want to know what it is, I got the bundle of shingles that they've been holding for 20 years. And then I'm like, yeah, this must have been from the last roof, because this isn't the shingle that you have on the roof. So they're thinking that they're safe with their bundle of shingles, and it's not even for the roof that they have. It was 2 roofs ago or whatnot. So I see that a lot. But that's probably the biggest thing. And then as far as understanding the way that the insurance companies are paying out with the breakdown and what they're paying for, that's kind of a big thing that I educate people on is, they're paying for all your gutters themselves, and maybe one downspout. So, at the end of the day, if you want all the gutters on your house, all the downspouts changed, we're missing some. The insurance company's not paying for all of it. They're paying for 90%. So if you want that service done, it's going to be a little bit more out of pocket than just your deductible. So letting people know that. Or the flip side of that is other people going, hey, I will help you out with your deductible, and we'll get your roof covered by the insurance company. You have a lot of people selling that. And what the homeowner doesn't realize is that payout wasn't just for their roof. It was for their roof, their gutters, some siding, some stuff here. And you might have maybe a dishonest person going, yeah, we'll just take this money and do the roof. And that's all they do. And they don't ever look at that paperwork and go, oh, wait, I was supposed to have all my gutters paid for and all that. And they never even knew that they had kind of gotten.
I could speak to that specifically, that storm that came through. I'm not naming names again, other than the person that really helped me was great. And I got done with everything, and I'm like, I got this money, and the money's all spent now, but my garage doors still haven't been replaced.
Yeah.
Fortunate as the Cardinal Cowboy, I've got a lot of supporters in the community. A buddy of mine is a distributor for all of the garage doors, and he goes, Cowboy, brand new insulated. I've got 3 cars, so I've got. And he says, and I said, well, then the other won't match. He goes, don't worry, I got a new single car for your other one. And they gave them to me just because they like what I do in the community. But I would have been out $5,000 at least just to get that done after what bills were already paid, because the work was all covered and all the bills came in and everybody got their money, except for me. I didn't get any money out of it. And the garages weren't complete, and that was part of the damage that had happened too.
Yeah, I hear stories like that quite a bit. And yeah, things are expensive. I don't know why, but yeah, I think every month or two I get an email saying that across the board material costs are going up. I don't know why. I mean, shingles are heavy. I know they're not shipping them in. There's no tariffs on shingles. Most of the shingles that I sell are made here in Missouri. So I'm not sure honestly why prices keep going up, but
Anyway.
Luckily, when
Just
you're dealing
because
with
they
the
can
insurance
make money.
company, they have to kind of cover those inflated prices. So that's another thing that's kind of helpful for you.
Very knowledgeable again. All right, I'm sold. Let's say somebody says, Ryan, I want you to do my work. What's the way for them to hire you?
Reach out to my cell phone. My phone, you can call me pretty much anytime. Unfortunately, I always pick up. And kind of let me know what you got going on. And usually I come out almost that day, kind of evaluate what we got going on. If there is something I can do to help you out with whether it be a claim or, you know, if you're uninsured or something like that, kind of maybe even point you to a good agent, a good insurance company to go with that will, you know, possibly set you up for something in the future that can help you out. So again, I always play the long game. You know, sometimes you're doing a simple, easy repair for free, and then, you know, they're thinking about you when that storm does come next year or the year after, and I can get the entire roof paid for. Because sometimes if I got a product or a caulk gun or something that can solve your problem right now, it's not worth the time dealing with all the extra stuff. You know, I can fix it right there, right then, which, again, most of the people you see out here are just sales guys. They don't know how to do the actual repairs.
Welcome to my world. How many marketing experts that have never set up a website in their life? Well, I can tell you the information is out there, everybody. If you saw, Ryan has lots of great information on his Facebook page, a lot of great information on his website. Your wife did the website. I'm going to give another little kudos because as I review websites, this is what I do for a living. And I was showing everybody here, if you look here on the scheduling page, there is a schedule button you've got there. So that allows people, and I popped up and here it is, there for everybody to look. But right there you can schedule. That's your wife right there?
Yep, there's my wife.
So she set up a Calendly. So that's a very effective way, and this will show up on your calendar, on your schedule, and block out the time so that somebody else can't double book you. And then they know that you're going to show up, because when Ryan has an appointment, he's there.
Yeah, sometimes I get, you know, sidetracked with talking with the prior customer that kind of interferes with the next customer. So I'm not always exactly on time, but I usually will text you, say, hey, I'm 5 minutes out or 10 minutes out. So
right.
I'm always there.
That's how you do it. Well, expertise here, everybody. These are the kinds of people we want to highlight. As we finish up here, tell me a time, if you've got a story, if you want to share with everybody, when you really had somebody who was in a tough situation and you knew they were struggling and you saw somebody to kind of taking advantage of them, or something just didn't go right, that you helped them and pulled it through for them, because we like to hear those good stories about helping our community.
Well, I kind of run into that all the time. A prior customer I just had, just towards the end of last year, you know, I was training up somebody to door knock, and I see a house with a pretty messed up roof, and I get up on the porch to knock on their front door, and then I kind of notice that they got all brand new gutters, all brand new siding, nice big, you know, luxury home, and I'm like, oh, did I kind of walk to the wrong house? I wasn't really sure what was going on, and he got to the door pretty quick, and I'm like, standing back, I'm like, I might have boogered this one up, like, what's going on here? Because your roof, I thought, looked old. Is it old? And he was like, yeah. So I was denied. I see this quite a bit where they'll pay for everything except for the roof.
Wow.
And I'm
and
like,
and we got to finish up here, but
yeah. So, you know, they had an insurance claim. They were working with another contractor, and the other contractor was able to get them to pay for all their siding, all their gutters, and then just kind of let the roof go. You know, and I'm
you came in and took care of the roof.
Yeah, so I did everything I needed to get a reinspection going, and was able to get it was a $45,000 roof. As soon as we got the roof done, his house was up on the market, and he sold the house. So
stay tuned for